Hello everyone, I'm back, Mrs. Mrega Chibbal, and I'm going to talk about transport of oxygen and carbon dioxide. Though I have made a video about transport of oxygen, still um, I will discuss few other things regarding transport of oxygen, and we will also discuss about transport of carbon dioxide in this video. So as in the earlier part of the video, we have already discussed that there are few factors which will affect the dissociation of oxygen, and those factors we had done were partial pressure of carbon dioxide, partial pressure of oxygen, hydrogen ion concentration. Hydrogen ion concentration means the pH value, because the more the hydrogen ion concentration, the acidity will increase. As you know that H plus ion or hydrogen ion, if the amount increases, the more acidic is the environment. That means the pH will change, and the temperature. The last factor is the temperature. So we are going to discuss about these again once more in this video, and then we will be moving on to transport of carbon dioxide. So as you see here, factors affecting dissociation. So blood temperature, the first factor is the blood temperature. Increased blood temperature will reduce the hemoglobin affinity for oxygen. What do you mean by this? That the binding nature of oxygen with the hemoglobin, this will be reduced if the temperature has increased. Okay, if the temperature has increased, the binding of oxygen with the hemoglobin will be reduced. Hence, more oxygen is delivered to warmed up tissues. Okay, so more because binding will be reduced, so what will happen? Dissociation will occur. Binding will be reduced, but dissociation will occur, and this dissociation will help the tissues to take more of the oxygen. Okay, so see this graph here at 37 degrees centigrade. So the dissociation curve is here, but at 40 degrees centigrade, you see the temperature rises, the dissociation also changes. So increasing of temperature will reduce the affinity. That means binding process will be lesser, but dissociation will be more. Okay, then comes the blood pH. Now here we are talking about blood pH because we are actually discussing about hydrogen ion concentration. So lowering of blood pH, that is making the blood more acidic, because as you know, if the pH scale, on a pH scale from 0 to 7, they are acidic, and 7 is neutral, and after 7 till 14 it is alkaline. So if the pH value is less, it is more acidic. The more lesser the pH, the more acidic is the environment. So lowering of blood pH, okay, that is making the blood more acidic. Now this is caused by the presence of what? H plus ions, because hydrogen ions, presence of hydrogen ion actually gives the acidic environment to the blood. See, from lactic acid or carbonic acid. So, every acid has an hydrogen ion concentration. So, the more the hydrogen ion concentration will be, the lower will be the pH of blood, and lower value of pH means high acidity. Okay, and this reduces the affinity of hemoglobin with the oxygen. That means again the binding will be reduced and dissociation will be increased. Okay, then comes the carbon dioxide concentration. The higher the carbon dioxide concentration in the tissues is less the affinity of hemoglobin with the oxygen. Again, if partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high, so binding will be lesser, but dissociation will increase. So all these factors, they actually point out in which way? They are pointing out that dissociation is increased. Now where will the body, or where will we want this dissociation to happen? We would like that this should happen at the tissue level, because the tissues need oxygen. So they will want that more of dissociation should occur. So at the tissue level, the environment should be like this. blood temperature should be high, blood pH should be low, and partial pressure of carbon dioxide should be higher, so that dissociation occurs and the tissues can take up the oxygen to do whatever work they want to do. Okay, I hope I am clear with this point of mine. Now, this is again oxygen dissociation curve, and they have discussed many things which are not to be done here in the. Okay, now we come to carbon dioxide dissociation or carbon dioxide transport. See in your NCERT. Carbon dioxide is carried by hemoglobin as oxygen was carried by hemoglobin. Similarly, carbon dioxide is also carried by hemoglobin. And what is the compound they are forming? Carba-amino hemoglobin. So when carbon dioxide combines with hemoglobin, the compound is known as carba-amino hemoglobin, which is almost 20-25% because we have just done in the beginning that 70% of it is transported in the form of bicarbonate and 7% is dissolved in the plasma. So we have done this line earlier also. So partial pressure of oxygen is a major factor which could affect the binding. Yes. When partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high and partial pressure of oxygen is low, as in tissues, this condition, where will you find this condition? Where PCO2 is high and PO2 is low. Yes, we will find this condition in tissues. More binding of carbon dioxide occurs. Okay, so because PCO2 is high, so this PCO2 will bind with the hemoglobin, whereas when PCO2 is low and PO2 is high, as in alveoli, dissociation will occur in the dissociation of carbon dioxide from carboaminohemoglobin will take place. That is, carbon dioxide which is bound to hemoglobin from the tissues is delivered at the alveoli, and hence from the alveoli they will be thrown out from the bronchi to the trachea, and from trachea to the nostrils and to the outside. So this is how dissociation of carbon dioxide will take place. Now RBCs contain very high concentration of an enzyme which is called carbonic anhydrase. This is an enzyme, please underline. Children, one thing I want to tell you, whenever you find a spelling with having which is having ACE at the end, ACE, so this will tell you that this is an enzyme. All the enzymes have the name which are ending with ACE. So carbonic anhydrase is an enzyme. Where is it present, children? It is present in the RBCs. The RBCs has high concentration of this enzyme, and minute quantities of this is also present in the plasma. So this enzyme will help in the reaction which is reversible. You can see the arrows. These arrows will tell you that the reaction is reversible. What is the reaction? When carbon dioxide combines with water in presence of enzyme carbonic anhydrase, what is formed? Bicarbonate is formed, you see. And this bicarbonate, again in the presence of the same enzyme, will split into carbonate ion and hydrogen ion. So here, you might be thinking, since the beginning of the topic, when I have started teaching you this topic, I am saying that 4 factors are there which are responsible for the transportation of gases, and 4 factors, out of these 4 factors I was saying hydrogen ion concentration. So you might be thinking, from where did this hydrogen ion came? So this is the place from where our body is having or getting hydrogen ion. How are we getting hydrogen ion concentrations? When carbon dioxide combines with water in presence of carbonic anhydrase, what is formed? Bicarbonate is formed, or carbonic acid is formed. This is H2CO3, carbonic acid. Now this carbonic acid is divided or splitted into ions, that is carbonate, bicarbonate, hydrogen carbonate ions, and hydrogen ion, that is H plus. Now accumulation of this H plus ion, accumulation of this H plus ion in the blood will make the blood more acidic. And as we have seen earlier, if the hydrogen ion concentration increases, the value of pH decreases, and the lower the value of pH, the more acidic will be the blood, and hence it will reduce the affinity of oxygen with the hemoglobin and increase the dissociation of oxygen with the hemoglobin, right? This was what we were doing in the video when we started this video. I hope you have understood. At the tissue site where partial pressure of carbon dioxide is high due to catabolism, you know now what is catabolism and anabolism. Carbon dioxide diffuses into red blood cells and plasma and form hydrogen carbonate and hydrogen ions. At the alveolar site, where PCO2 is low, the reaction proceeds in the opposite direction, just this way. In the tissue level, the reaction is moving in this manner, and in the alveoli, it is moving in the opposite direction. So, proceeds in the leading to the formation of what? When the reaction moves on from this direction to this, what are we getting? The products we are getting is carbon dioxide and water. And because this is being done in alveoli and we are getting carbon dioxide and water, so this carbon dioxide and water will move out from the alveoli to the bronchi through trachea outside. We will doing the exhalation. Thus, carbon dioxide trapped as bicarbonate at the tissue level and transported to the alveoli is released out as CO2. So every 100 ml of deoxygenated blood delivers approximately 4 ml of carbon dioxide to the alveoli. I hope I am clear with this. Again, here you can see the same things. Carbon dioxide also relies on the blood for transportation. Once carbon dioxide is released from the cells, it is carried in the blood primarily in three ways. Dissolved in the plasma, it is also carried in bicarbonate as carbonic acid, where dissociation, this is the carbonic acid, see, where dissociation occurs, and it is also bound with the hemoglobin. We have done this, right? So the same things are being explained here. Part of carbon dioxide released from the tissue is dissolved in plasma, but only a small amount, that is 7 to 10%. This we have already done. See, the dissolved carbon dioxide come out of solution where PCO2 is low, such as in lungs. There it diffuses out of the capillaries into the alveoli to be exhaled, right? So carbon dioxide is carried in three forms. One is the dissolved form, other is in the carbonate form, and then carboamino compounds. Okay. So I hope I am clear with the transportation of carbon dioxide. Thank you.